Hello everyone and welcome back to the Minecraft myth-busting world. We have a new update of Minecraft, the 1.16, the Nether update, and with this a bunch of new mobs. And in this episode of myth-busting, we're here in the world to conduct some tests on these new mobs to learn all sorts about them. If you are unfamiliar with the new mobs, well, let me introduce you. First of all, we have the zombified Piglin, which is essentially a reskinning of the zombie pigmen. So we're probably not going to learn too much about this fella, but his cousin, the regular Piglin, is one that we've got to learn about. And the Piglin is actually allergic to being in the overworld. And there it goes, it converts into a zombified Piglin. So there is actually a tag we might use in some of our tests, immune to zombification. This way we can create Piglins that can be in the overworld and be nice and happy. Now there's also the Hoglin and the Strider that have been added. And then we have the Soglin, which is now just going to go and attack everything. And that immediately reminded me of our neighborhood Vindicator, Johnny, who attacks everything in sight. This will be our first test. Let's see if Johnny's going to attack the zombified Piglin. Yep. The regular Piglin, Johnny goes after them too. What about the Hoglin? There are really no surprises when it comes to Johnny, right? He attacks everything. Then we have the Strider, a completely neutral mob that doesn't even have an attack. So it can't even defend itself. And so no surprises here. Who's going to win this battle though? Johnny wins! Johnny beats the Soglin. Well, that was fun, and I've got a whole bunch more tests coming up related to these mobs, but they're not the only things added in 1.16, right? And so what I need you to do is go down below to the comments and ask your questions and myths about 1.16. I'm going to be scanning through every single comment and creating a big old list so that we can do tons of investigations for future episodes of the Myth-Busting series. So use hashtag Myth-Busting, and that way I'll be able to find your questions nice and easy. And while you're down there, if you want to leave a like and support the channel, that would be great. Also subscribe if you haven't done so already for more videos about 1.16. So with that YouTube stuff out of the way, let's find out what the Wither thinks of these mobs. First of all, the zombified Piglin is an undead creature, so just like before, the Wither ain't going to take interest. But what about a regular Piglin? Oh, here we go. Oh, you don't like these, do ya? Look at that. It goes after the Piglin. I shall guess that it goes after the Hoglin. Yep, there it goes. And I believe that the Soglin is an undead creature. But it's going to attack the Wither. And the Wither ain't attacking back. Oh my goodness me. Here we go. Here we go. Hang on a second. They're attacking it, but they're not actually attacking the Wither. They're not doing any damage at all. What's going on here? This is what I love about myth busting. Occasionally you just find something so weird. I think it's not physically capable of attacking it for some reason. Maybe it's a hitbox issue, maybe it's some sort of bug, but that is just truly bizarre. So the Soglins go after the Wither, but they can't actually hit it. You and I have a lot in common right now, don't we? Except the Wither ain't attacking me because I'm in creative mode. But there you go, the Wither goes after the Strider. So do all of the Soglins. It's complete chaos. Let's now turn our attention back to the platform at the beginning of the video with these classic tests, and also the can they get in the boat question. So the zombified Piglin, the Strider, the Piglin, they're all capable of getting in the boat, but the Hoglin's hitbox is actually too big for it to go inside of a boat. But there is an exception for a baby-sized Hoglin, and these are about to convert into Soglins, and guess what? It's the same rules for them. And a baby Hoglin can grow into an adult when it's inside of the boat, but because its hitbox is bigger, there's actually no way of clicking on this and getting inside the boat with the adult Hoglin. Now when it comes to the name tag, Dinnerbone, we can flip the mobs upside down, and no surprises here, every single mob can be flipped upside down. Now when it comes to the lead, you can't leash the zombified Piglin. You can't leash the Piglin over here as well. You can leash a Strider to move it around. Now where things get interesting is with the Hoglin. I can actually leash this mob and move it around, but I can't the Soglin, and when it converts, it actually pops off. And I kind of expected the same thing to happen with the Piglin, but you can't actually leash a Piglin. And when it comes to the fishing rod, you can actually use this on all entities. And the Soglin might look like it's resisting the fishing rod a little bit. It's not. Even though it has really strong knockback resistance, It is not any more resistant to the fishing rod. So next up, I investigated the effects of jump boost, which makes the striders jump up into the sky. Does the same thing for the zombified piglins, the regular piglins. I just love watching them jump up. It's so hilarious. And with the hoglins, they actually go flying and even flew outside of the test area. I think this is because they have extra large hitboxes, and that causes more push, and the same thing, no surprise, happening there with the Soglins. But imagine my shock when I thought I was testing the jump effect, and I was actually testing levitation on the striders. I thought I'd found out something unique, but this is just what happens when you give them the wrong effect. I can also tell you that the levitation effect works on all the new mobs without anything out of the ordinary. So another classic test we do in this area is the lightning strike. Of course, there's the Easter egg of a villager being turned into a witch. And so as we go through the zombified piglin, the regular piglin, the hoglin, the strider, and the zoglin, there was nothing to be found here. Although one thing I did observe is that the piglin and the hoglin can burn in fire, whereas the other mobs are immune to it, and that's interesting considering they're all nether mobs. This, of course, applies to lava as well. They get set on fire, no surprise, but did you notice another change that's happened in 1.16? The mobs actually get pushed along by lava now. This is a new feature, so a mob will very slowly move across and get pushed by the lava. These tests can certainly be cruel, but it's Minecraft science, and dropping them all from a height, I can tell you that none of these mobs are immune to taking fall damage. There is also the slow falling potion effect. Let's find out which of these it works on. No surprise, all of them behave like normal with this effect. Our next classic test is interactions with the iron golem. Which of these mobs does it not like? Well, I can tell you it's all but one. You could probably actually guess if you gave it a little bit of thinking. So it'll go after all of the new mobs, the zombified piglin, of course, and it will go after the zoglin. And the zoglin, of course, does attack the iron golem. But the one mob it doesn't go after is the strider, the peaceful mob. So it leaves this one alone. For the next part of this video, we are going to just go over a couple of interesting facts about each of these new mobs, and then we'll get back to our classic rounds of tests. First of all, the strider can be summoned in with a passenger on top, which we're probably not going to see. There it is, you saw it, a little baby strider on top. And my buddy Nembom has actually supplied me with the numbers here, and there's an interesting little fact to note about this. So when spawning in the world, there's a 1 in 30 chance of this having a zombified piglin spawning on top of it. Now you'll see that there is a saddle on top, so when it spawns in with a zombified piglin, it actually gets a free saddle, which it doesn't do if it summons in with a baby strider. And it has a 1 in 10 chance of doing this. Now there is a third thing it can spawn in, and so when it picks a zombified piglin, there's a 1 in 20 chance it'll be a baby. So that means a 1 in 600 chance that this right here will spawn into the world. So if you see it, this is a pretty rare combination. So, the Soglin, you probably know that it attacks pretty much every mob inside of the game, but there is actually one mob that it won't attack, and no, it's not the Evoker, it just took a moment there. The one mob it won't attack is the Creeper, and this should be rather obvious as to why, because, well, then it could blow up in your world if the Creeper decides to blow up, and if you've been watching my update videos, you probably already knew this, and you might know the next one as well. So with these new mobs, there is a change to the Wither Skeleton, as it and the Piglin do not get along. You can see they both go to attack one another, but the Wither Skeleton is far stronger than any Piglin. But yes, these two mobs do not get along. But there are some that do. Piglins will hunt Hoglins, but the baby Piglins and baby Hoglins actually get along and play together. And it is even possible to have 3 of them sitting on the back of a Hoglin at once. So if you have a bunch of them hanging out in the area together, the Piglins will just run around, jump on the Hoglins' back for a bit, and then jump off. So back to the regular testing, and I'm not sure if we ever actually did this one on mobs, but we tested that gravity blocks would land on the eggs and potentially break them. So let's do this. Oh yeah, you guys like to run over there and break them intentionally. Looks like the Piglins don't do that though. They don't come over here and intentionally try and break them. Okay, having done the testing a little better, I've waited to see the Hoglins, Zoglins and Piglins actually move around on these. They don't intentionally try to destroy them, but they can break them. And then, of course, we have the Strider. And yes, that one can also break turtle eggs. Another classic test is to investigate how the mobs interact with guardians, and all of them here actually don't interact with one another at all. There's nothing going on between them, but in the process I learned that the Strider takes damage over here in water, and the Soglin will attack the Guardian, which is unsurprising, but the Guardians will never attack back, so they'll just take the beating and never go after the Soglin. And this is why it's interesting to test, you know, you could use the Zoglins in a Guardian farm. In fact, you could probably use them in a lot of farms, but the key is, you know, you don't want the creature they're killing to attack back. And another test we like to do is to find out what happens to these mobs when a skeleton is shooting at them, and it's all pretty straightforward. However, with the zombie Piglin, it can shoot one mob and then it will make the other ones aggressive and they will go after the skeleton, as you can see. And so the Hoglin, the Piglin, and the Soglin, they all go after the skeleton, and the Strider does absolutely nothing except sit in the middle and get shot. And those are all of our classic tests, my friends, and we're going to be conducting some more on the new blocks that have been added in this game, and then we'll probably be doing a round of mini-myths where I answer your questions, so remember, hashtag myth busting in the comments down below. Give me some specific questions for 1.16 and we'll be covering them in a future video. Anyway, if you enjoyed this one, leave a like. As always, thanks for the support, and I'll see you soon with another myth busting episode. Bye bye.